You are the majority leader in the Kenyan National Assembly. You are a close ally and supporter of President William Ruto, who is super unpopular right now because he and you and your party haven't delivered for the people of Kenya. Your 2022 election manifesto made 281 promises. Can you tell our audience tonight how many of those have been fulfilled over the last 2.5 years?
The implementation of a manifesto is page by page, chapter after chapter.
But you haven't implemented it. That's the problem.
It is being implemented.
How many of the 281 promises have been implemented?
I'll not give you a straight answer of 2 or 10 or 200, but I'll tell you.
You're the first politician who said to me, I will not give you a straight answer, just bluntly. I can give you an answer. I've got the answer. It's 14 out of 281 promises. That means 95% of your promises have not been met 2.5 years in.
That is your number, Mehdi, not my number.
It's not my number. It's the number of Mizalendo, a non-partisan parliamentary monitoring organization in Kenya that tracks all parties. They're saying 14 out of 281. I mean, we can run through some of them. President Ruto said he would give free internet and phone calls to Kenyans. He hasn't. He said he would start an inquiry into cronyism. He has not. He said he would ratify the International Convention Against Enforced Disappearances. He has not. I could go on and on. Kenyans are frustrated because they were lied to during the election campaign.
Well, Mehdi, as I told you, that is the perspective of Mzalendo. And that is their target.
Well, has he ratified the International Convention Against Enforced Disappearances?
We have ratified very many international conventions.
But has he ratified the International Convention Against Enforced? He said he would do it straight as he comes to power. It's been 2.5 years. He could do it with a stroke of his pen. Why has he not done it?
He is yet to ratify, but it is work in progress. Was there a timeline for its ratification, according to Mzalendo?
Many things had timelines on.
Was there a timeline?
He said he would do.
No timeline.
He said he would do a public inquiry into cronyism within 30 days. Has he done it?
Public inquiry?
Yeah, a public inquiry to establish the extent of cronyism and state capture and make recommendations. Page 61 of your manifesto. Has he done it? It's been more than 30 days. It's been 2.5 years.
I'll tell you, Mehdi, if you read the NADCO report, there are recommendations on what is to be done on state cronyism, on state capture, on extrajudicial killings. That is captured in the NADCO report.
But you haven't done what the manifesto called for on multiple things. And look, you know, and you admitted, to be fair, that people are unhappy. There's a perception of the government that's unpopular. Kenyans have been most upset about the cost of living. And yet, when thousands of young Kenyans took to the streets in protest of your government last year, the finance bill, your government opened fire on them, killed them, forcibly abducted and disappeared them. How do you justify such a violent crackdown on your own citizens in a democracy?
First, let me say this, Mehdi. Unfortunately, all demonstrations end up with deaths, which is a very unfortunate incident. And it is not true that people demonstrate and you open fire. It is just the nature of what happens with our demonstrations, that they turn violent and the police have to intervene. And let me say that at this point, it's not just unfortunate. We all regret the loss of life during the 2022 demonstrations and even the demonstrations of June last year. Unfortunate that lives had to be lost, but it was not that fire was opened on young.
Yeah, the way you talk, lives had to be lost. No, lives were taken, right? People were shot in the head.
I'll tell you from the last year's demonstrations, 3 are already in court.
3 police officers have been prosecuted.
3 are being prosecuted.
Are being prosecuted, but none have been prosecuted.
Another 34 cases. Before you prosecute somebody, you have got to investigate. So you have to prosecute.
This is what Human Rights Watch said last year. Bodies of people showing signs of torture continue to turn up in rivers, forests, quarries, mortuaries. The authorities have yet to investigate or prosecute anyone for these crimes. Kenya has a history of police brutality and lack of accountability for serious abuse. So that's Human Rights Watch.
You want to believe what Human Rights Watch said, not what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
I'm going to believe a human rights group over a politician who started by saying, I won't give you straight answers.
It is their take, Mehdi. It is their take. And I didn't come here to give their take. I came here to give my take and the perspective.
So they're wrong, you think? The police officers are being held to account?
They are wrong because the police officers must be held to account.
But they haven't been.
And that is why we have institutions that will hold them to account.
I want to bring in, you are a community leader, Kenyan community leader in the diaspora. What do you make of this study that was done by a non-partisan group which shows 14 promises out of 281 in the manifesto have been fulfilled? Do you think that's what's driving a lot of Kenyan frustration?
These are the messes that the current government inherited. And through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which the president always talk about, and he prioritized 5 areas, is to create jobs for these people, to create things to do.
You keep saying inherited. Isn't President Ruto, wasn't he a long-standing senior member of the previous government?
Well,
how do you inherit something you were in?
Mehdi.
Listen, Mehdi.
What am I missing?
Bunga, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BAV. This is Bunge Audiovisual. So today we're going to talk about Kimani Ichung'wah's Al Jazeera nightmare. And as we begin, let me just give you a glimpse of what actually happened. So we were able to see at first Kenya Kwanza's chief defender, Kimani Ichung'wah, just had a brutal reality check on AI Al Jazeera meeting. And I think facing off with the legendary Mehdi Hasan, the interviewer, he struggled. He completely fumbled, and while trying to defend the President William Ruto's administration, things seem to get worse than most thought. So, from unfulfilled promises to police brutality and rampant corruption, we were able to see Ichung'wah had no solid answers in whatever he was asked. So instead, he was left stuttering, dodging, and exposing just how unprepared this government is. So without further ado, let's break down this disastrous interview and see what actually transpired. So at first, we were able to see at some point the manifesto. He was able to give the manifesto lies. And in short, the manifesto's lies were actually exposed. And it started with a simple question. Out of the 281 promises in your manifesto, how many have been fulfilled? Sounds like something any government official should easily answer. But, well, not for Ichung'wah. He dodged, he mumbled, but he had no number to give. And then, boom, Mehdi Hasan hit him with a cold hard truth. And he said that only 14 have been achieved. And so many were actually fascinated with the kind of answer that Mehdi Hasan gave. Because imagine a journalist who doesn't even live in Kenya knew the facts better than Kenya's leaders. And the embarrassment was very, very unreal. Then at the second scene, we also seeing Kimani Ichung'wah trying to talk about police brutality. And in this particular case, when he was asked about the police brutality, he gave no valid answer. So the next question then came, one that Kenyans have been demanding answers for. And Mehdi Hasan went head on and asked, why did the government open fire on peaceful protesters in June 25th during the Gen Z movement? And Ichung'wah's response was actually filled with pure confusion and no justification, no accountability. He was just able to give just empty words that made no sense. And when and when asked how many police officers have been prosecuted for the June 25th killings, he had no answer, not even one. Then thirdly, we are able to see they were able to discuss about corruption at large, and this is where Kimani Ichung'wah gave the biggest excuse. And then the final blow of corruption, Mehdi Hasan asked him about Kenya's deep-rooted corruption, where police officers openly take bribes from motorists and politicians, flaunt their stolen wealth in front of struggling citizens. Then again, Kimani Ichung'wah had no real defense. His government has been in power for almost 2 years and corruption is worse than ever. So instead of fixing it, they just make excuses. And you see, these are some of the things that actually make some of our leaders face trouble whenever whenever they meet any interview. Because if at all the government was doing the right thing, it wouldn't have given so much. So it wouldn't have given the politicians, or rather those who have been elected into office by their constituents, a hard time to answer such questions. Then we're also talking about the disgraceful reality. And this particular interview wasn't just an embarrassment for Kimani Ichung'wah. It was a disgrace for the entire government. And it proved that it proved what many Kenyans already know. The people running this country are not just incompetent. They are completely disconnected from reality. And so what now? Will this government finally wake up and fix things, or will they keep blaming everyone but themselves? So I don't know what your thoughts in the comment section are, because if you look at the way Kimani Ichung'wah was actually trying to answer the question that he was being asked by Ahmed, by the look of things, he was just there to pass time, and he had no clue at all over. All right, it really gives out, it really sends out a message that this particular regime has no vision, it has no objectives, or rather missions, that, or rather goals that have been set to ensure that they better the lives of the citizens of the Republic of Kenya. The only thing that I can say for now is that 90, or rather, no, not even 90, 95%, if not 98% of those people who have been have been given the privilege to serve the nation in various positions in government have really let Kenyans down. And I think in 2027 there will be no room for such people in government, or rather in various positions to represent the needs of the nation. And what I can say is that I don't know what's your take on this matter about concerning Ichung'wah and Ahmed during the Al Jazeera interview, Al Jazeera interview. So what I can say is that let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and you all know that this has been a Bunge podcast. Hit that subscribe button and let's keep it let us keep the conversation going. And for now, until next time, stay informed, stay bold, and never stop questioning. This is your love. This is your space. This is the place you can only. This is the only place you are allowed to express yourselves. Give us insights. Give us your opinions. Rant kidogo hapa na pale, and stay tuned for more updates. Till next time.